on the vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again. Hello everyone and welcome back to The Top Vloggers. As always, I am your host, Hi Mighty Joe. Today we got a story time vlog for you. One of the questions I've been asked is, why did you leave Indiana? Why did you move? And what made you pick Las Vegas? So we're going to answer all of those questions and maybe even a few more on today's episode. Let's get going. Well, it all begins in Indiana. I was born in Indiana in the early 80s, and it was an emotional time. It was a rough time. I had a great childhood. I had a nanny who was one of the most loving, sweet, and adorable people that I could have ever asked for. I have a wonderful mother. My father still lives in Rocheville, where my nanny and my papa lived. And like I said, I had a great childhood. One of the things as I've told you guys before, that I got for a present was I got the Hulk Hogan, the big Hulk Hogan that I showed you guys. I got that when I was like 3 years old, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. And that happened in Indiana, and I've had other great moments in Indiana as well. But I was diagnosed with some health problems, and as you guys know, I used to be a professional wrestler, and because of my health problems, I was no longer to compete in professional wrestling. So after I retired, I decided, one day I was sitting down and I was watching YouTube, and I really didn't even know exactly what YouTube was per se. I mean, I knew it had videos on there, and I knew other people could upload content, but I just didn't know everybody could do it. And I started watching a video of a guy named Adam the Woo. And he basically had quit his job and sold all of his possessions, pretty much. And he moved into a van, and he decided to go around the country and show people different things about, roadside attractions and things around the world, movie locations and things like that, and all kinds of different things. And I thought, that's a great idea. I want to do that. So we decided to sell our home and buy an RV, and that's where things get a little bit more difficult. Once we were told at the time of buying the RV that everything actually worked perfectly on the RV, that we just had to refill the generator. We had to refill the propane, and then the generator and everything else would work. That was not true. Of course, once we bought the vehicle, the person that we had bought it from would not return our phone calls or our emails or our texts or our Facebook messages or anything like that. We did buy it off of the Facebook Marketplace. I do not have anything negative to say about the Facebook Marketplace because I don't blame them for the problems that we had. I do, however, blame the gentleman for the problems that we had. Simply because some of the things that he told us was not true. So after we sold everything, we moved into my mom's for a couple of months, and we decided that we were going to leave, and that we were going to head out west. I had asked my wife to pick a place that she wanted to live. Because she didn't want to necessarily live in Los Angeles, which is where I had been staying before my wife and I got married. So I said, I want anything that has a palm tree. Anything that has a palm tree, I'm okay with it. Doesn't matter to me. So that was that. We decided that we wanted to move out west. It was the warmer place. Now I'm somewhat disagreeing with that. We were thinking about Texas, Nevada, possibly maybe San Diego, California, and some other places. But those were our top three. We also had thought about Florida and changed our minds on Florida. However, we will we may look into Florida again in the future. We are not exactly sure about that. The lovely cat does actually have some family that lives down in Florida as well. So Florida may be an option later on down the line. But we decided that we wanted to move out west. So we loaded up the RV. As you know, we have 3 children. We have 2 older boys, and then we have Aaron. The 2 older boys said they did not want to come. They didn't want to come out west. They didn't want to live in California. They didn't want to live in Nevada. They didn't want to live in Texas. They wanted to stay in Indiana. So we allowed them to stay in Indiana with my mother. And that was a great choice for them. They are doing absolutely wonderful. And I could not be more proud of either one of them. All right, so we loaded up our RV. We had all of our things in it. Next step, moseying on west. So that's what we did. And this was our RV that we had. We moseyed on west, and our first major snafu would come in Denver, Colorado. In Denver, Colorado, we not only ran out of money, but we also have lost the awning to our RV. So yeah, it was not a great start. We got stuck in Denver, Colorado. However, the Christian Central Church was very, very, very gracious. They allowed us to park our RV in their parking lot and stay in it there. We tried to get a couple of jobs there. However, we went on a few interviews. Things just never panned out. So that's kind of how that happened. And so yeah, that didn't work out so well for us. However, like I said, they were gracious enough to let us stay there, and they took up a charitable donation amongst the members of the church, and they gave us the other half of the money that we started with to complete our journey. And then we had a flat tire in Arizona, which we were actually about, I don't know, how far were we, my dear?
We were about 20 miles outside the state line in Nevada.
Yeah, so about 20 miles from Nevada. We had a flat tire. I called my good friend Adam, and he was able to pay to have our tire changed, and so once that happened, we were back on the road, and we made it all the way to the Walmart that we are heading to now. So when we first arrived, we had a quarter tank of gas left. Now our official destination was San Diego, California. However, this would be where we had to stop because we just did not have enough money. We had no more money, and we only had a quarter of a tank of gas. So this is where it was all gonna happen. All right, well, this is where we made it. If you can see where that silver car is, that is about where the RV was parked. It was parked there, and we did not see any signs. Of course, they are posted, but we just didn't see them saying that we couldn't park here. But we were parked here for a little while, I would say. We were parked here, and maybe about, I don't know, 2-3 days, and they did tag our car and ask us to leave, and so we did leave, and we would go to the park. Now, Kat has actually done a vlog on that park before, so if you would like to see more of that park, you can definitely go back and check that park out, and we will be going there momentarily. But we were parked here, and we would bounce back every night between here and the park, and we did that for about a week, and then they told us that we couldn't park at the park anymore. So we would go to different Walmarts. There was one Walmart, it's quite a ways away from here. I'd have to get on the bus and go, but we parked there for about 3 weeks. Kat was able to get a job, and her job was closer to here than it was to the Walmart, and we didn't have enough money for her to go back and forth on the bus to get to work from that Walmart where we could actually park, and we were not allowed to park at this Walmart here. So what we did was we were at the park, and I will tell you that part when we get there. Now, I'm not sure what it is about silver cars, but exactly where that silver car parked, those first 2 spots right there, that's where the RV was staying, and we would move it back and forth. And one morning it came, or one evening I should say, it came time to move it, and we went to move it, and it would not start. And a gentleman who owns a smog shop up the road, up here on Basic Road, he would come down and see us and try to lend a hand, and he would actually end up buying a battery for it, thinking that was the problem. He bought a couple other parts, trying to solve this problem. He couldn't get it fixed. So another guy came by who owns a body shop, and he said, I can move it out onto the street for you if that's what you'd like. We said yes, and he was actually able to move us all the way over to the La Vida Casino, up on by the highway, which means we were even closer to a bus stop if we were able to take a bus. Of course, at that point in time, we had no money to be taking the bus, that is for sure. So that is what happened. We went up there, and we would park there, and we would be there for about 2 weeks, and finally they would ask us to leave. We had enough money to have it towed to a mechanic or or someone like that who would, who basically worked on RVs and things like that and was able to deal with that kind of nature of the problems. We took it to him. We had it taken to him, and he said that we could not stay in the RV while he was going to, while they were going to be fixing it and looking at it and stuff like that. So we couldn't stay in the RV. Well, we had nowhere to go. So I'm going to take you to the La Vida Casino, and then I will take you to where we stayed when they took the RV from there. So right out there, on the right side of the palm tree is where our RV would park. for that 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks that we would be here. Like I said, we would be able to get enough money to have it towed away and worked on, but we wouldn't have a place to stay. So I'm going to show you where we stayed for 2 days. So this is where we would end up. Right here on the outside, underneath this canopy. Aaron was sleeping in a cart. Cat was sleeping in a green chair right there. And I would stand guard the whole night. Our second night here, I have never felt worse than I did that night in my entire life as a human being. I felt like a failure. I felt like a bad father. I felt like a terrible husband. And I didn't feel like a very good Christian or a human being either. The second night, right outside this Burger King right over here, they would be kind enough to bring us the leftover food that they have when they close down. Now we weren't hungry and we weren't starving by any means, but they saw these two people out here and a little boy in a cart. I don't even know if they knew Aaron was in the cart because he was bundled up quite well. But it was so touching for them to do that for us. Anytime that I can, if I see a homeless person or something like that, I try to give them some food or something to drink if I have it on me. If I'm close to a store, I try to buy some. And it all stems from what the people at the Burger King did that day for me. They did not have to do that, and I was very, very appreciative. It touched my heart. I told Kat after this, I said, look, you got to get a hold of that guy who has our RV, and you tell him that we have a little boy, and I don't care if he likes it or not. I have keys to my RV. It's my RV, and I'm going to be staying in it. So Kat called him, and we was actually able to stay in the RV. However, they did come out one day, and Kat got off work, and Kat went up there to inquire about it, and they said that they would not be able to fix it. They were not able to even look at it. And so that would be that. So we had to have our RV moved again. We had to have the money to tow it, so we had to wait. We got the money to tow it again, and I will take you to where we had it towed right now. Well, this is where we would end up, right here, in front of Montiel's body shop right here. So if you guys ever need any kind of body work done, I would definitely recommend this guy. The guy who runs this place owns it. His name is Fernando, and I was extremely grateful that he allowed us to park our RV here. We did have a guy from Kat's job who would deliver the food supplies, who said, hey, I am a mechanic and I can fix your RV. And so he would come over and we would get part after part after part after part trying to fix this RV. And one day we found out that it had bad wiring inside. The wiring had went out, and so we were really lucky. We were really lucky to get from Indiana all the way to Nevada. Obviously, we did not get to our destination of San Diego, but we got to Nevada, and it is definitely warm here. And like I said, you know, there's so many things that have went on that are great since we moved here to Nevada. And I just wanted to say thank you to Fernando for all of his help, for letting us park our RV out here. Our RV was parked out in front of his shop for, I would say, at least 2.5 months. And then, you know, the pandemic hurt a lot of people, but for us, it really couldn't have come at a better time. The pandemic hit, and they issued that first stimulus check, and we decided that instead of taking the stimulus check and getting the RV fixed, which we could have done, we would take our first stimulus check and we would get an apartment here in town. That way Kat could walk to work or take the bus if we had any kind of extra money. And that way we could save money and help, you know, continue on building everything instead of having the RV. When the lovely Kat would need to charge our electronics, she would go right over here to this smog shop. And of course the smog shop is actually the shop where Mike worked, the gentleman who would, as I spoke to you earlier, would help literally try everything he could to get our RV fixed, and he was not able to do it. But our RV would actually sit outside this shop right here, that is for sure. And we have to thank the gentleman at the Montel's custom shop, which is right there, and the gentleman Mike, who owns the smog shop. We definitely have to thank them both tremendously for all of their help. So once the RV was moved, I would walk over here to this AutoZone probably once a day, it seemed like, and be getting a new part for the RV, trying to get it up and running. However, it was never a success. But it would, after it was parked in front of the body shop, it would stay in front of the body shop for the rest of its day. But we would come right here to this AutoZone looking for parts on a regular basis. I just want everybody to know I did not make this vlog because I wanted any kind of sympathy or anything like that. I just, as a matter of fact, it was quite opposite, because now we are doing so good. We live in our own apartment. We have tons of things that we didn't have before. Like I said, we're doing just so dadgum good that at the end of the day, I could not sit here and tell you that it was a bad decision to move. Now, if you'd asked me during all of this, I'd have said, yeah, maybe it was a bad decision to move, because frankly, things weren't going that well, and I didn't think they were going to get any better. Let's just say that. But with the help of Mike and Fernando, who owns the Montel's body shop, and all of those people, and Kat would have a co-worker that she would work with, and he would let us come over to his house, and all three of us would shower or take a bath. It was so nice of him, because he didn't have to do that. So thank you so much, PT. You know who you are if you're watching this vlog. Thank you so much. That really did mean a lot to us. So yeah, like I said, overall, It was crazy, but we did it. We made it, and now we're heading home. Boy, it is a hot one out there today, that is for sure. I just got home and my shirt is soaked. So I'm going to jump out of these clothes and jump into some other clothes, and I will be right back with you. Boy, it is a hot one out there today. As you can see, it is 97 degrees here today. So, quite a hot one, that is for sure. So definitely gonna have to change out of these clothes. And as soon as I get done, I will be right back with you. Well, now that I am in some dry clothes, boy, that 97 degrees absolutely felt like 107 a little earlier today. But now that I am dried off and everything, I wanted to go ahead and get back to this. So we're going to talk about the three things that actually brought us out here to the West Coast. And what were your three things, my dear?
Well, I would have to say I never really have liked the cold. And in Indiana, it gets very cold in the wintertime. Also, never have been a big fan of the humidity. And out here,
humidity is pretty much the same thing as the weather. I mean, it works with the weather, so that's all one thing, really. And
it doesn't get real humid out here. I've always liked the palm trees, so it seems to be fitting out here.
That's only two things, my dear.
I know, that's all I have.
That's all you have. Two things. Number one reason I moved out here was my health. When I moved out here, I was a 48-inch waist, and now I'm a 38 or a 40, depending on the pants. So that was definitely something for me, was my health. I had some health problems, and that's the reason I had to retire from professional wrestling to begin with. So that was something hard that I had to do, and my health has gotten tremendously better since I've been out here, that is for sure. Number two is, obviously, as Kat said, the weather. The weather in Indiana is extremely cold. I am, with having my apartment in LA, I was so used to the warm weather that when I went back for that cold, I said, I can't do this no more, no more. So I'm out of here. The weather was definitely a big factor. So between my health and the weather, those were definitely the top two things. And number three would just be opportunity. There are so many opportunities out here. When you're making $7.50, $8 an hour, and you're making $12 an hour out here, it really does kind of change your quality of life. Now things are a little bit more expensive out here, but then again, if you manage your money, no matter what, you should know how to manage and get by with what you make. So those are my top three things. Those are Kat's top two things. Number one question I get asked quite often is, do you miss the RV? Yes and no. There are things I miss about the RV. There are things I don't miss about the RV. So, yeah, it goes both ways. Do you miss the RV, dear?
Kind of. You know, it was nice to just be able to pick up and go wherever you wanted and not have to worry about, stopping and finding a hotel because you already had your bed with you.
Right. I completely agree on that.
But the upkeep on an RV is very expensive.
And it definitely did save a lot of money, you know what I mean, with hotels, but you just turn around and actually end up spending that money in investments into your RV, really.
On the way out here, you could just stop at a rest stop for the night, sleep, and then continue on the next day.
Well, all in all, a fantastic vlog. This is a vlog that I have been wanting to do for, I'd say, the last 6 months, and I've tried to put this vlog together a couple of different times, and it's so hard. You know, we went through a lot of hardships.
Yes, we did. Quite a bit.
And to be able to go through those hardships and know that you can go from the outhouse to the penthouse, it really is something. And as I spoke earlier, if you ever see a homeless person out, get them something to eat, get them something to drink, because it may make the world of a difference to them. As I said earlier, I was shocked and amazed when those two people at the Burger King brought that food over to us. It was so emotionally touching. And like I said, now every time I'm out, if I see a homeless person and I have something to drink, or I'm close to a store, I will buy them something to drink or something to eat if they want it, because I was just overwhelmed and so thankful that they did that, even though they didn't have to. All in all, though, a fantastic day. We have had a lot of emotions on this vlog, that is for sure. So, thank you so much for joining us. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. You can take it one step further and ring that notification bell to keep you up to date on all the future adventures that will be going on our channel. And until then, we'll see you next time. For the lovely cat, I'm High and Mighty Joe, Top Vloggers!